right now we have the Quadriciser in 3 different schools, an elementary school, a middle school, and a high school. The elementary school students are just looking at changes in range of motion, improvements in activities of daily living, and then changes in academic readiness. It's funny, at the elementary school, the students will often start crying when the machine stops. And so then it prompts the teacher to go over and say, would you like more exercise, yes or no? And so they have to respond, and then she'll turn it back on, for another 10-15 minutes. And so again, it works on their communication skills, but it clearly shows they enjoy it because they're like, why did this stop? I want to keep going. At the middle school, we're focusing on how does the Quadriciser impact fluidity of movement. So as I reach now to the camera, what's the fluidity in which I reach instead of kind of moving all over the place before I get from point A to point B. And then step 2 is looking at how lower body exercises can truly impact knee flexion and hip flexion. So those are the 2 kind of questions we're looking at the middle school, because again, we've been able to use the Quadriciser here now for 3 years. At the high school, which recently received a Quadriciser, we are introducing those students to the Quadriciser, getting them into their routines, and then once they are established into their routines, for them we are also looking at changes in range of motion, changes in activities of daily living, and academic readiness. So obviously we've seen changes in their range of motion, but for a lot of the students it's looking at their levels of alertness, looking at, again, improvements in activities of daily living. So those students have had less choking episodes, have improved in the ability to feed themselves, to be able to, again, reach for objects, and then their ability to actually attend while they're in their academic settings are some of the biggest things. And then I would say the last thing, and one of the biggest things we've noticed at the elementary school, is improvements in expression, because a lot of our students are nonverbal, and so unless they have their communication board, a lot of them don't have the ability to kind of communicate their emotions, their feelings. And so looking at that pre-post after the Quadriciser, we've seen a lot of changes in the elementary schools students' ability to express themselves. So that's the activities of daily living that I'm mentioning. And so a lot of the students, because they are in their wheelchairs the majority of the day and then have very limited movement on the weekend, a lot of them get bound up. And so it becomes messy for the teachers, but they've said that each student will religiously have a bowel movement on Monday morning after they get off the Quadriciser. And so again, that just shows how when we promote circulation, when we promote movement, we help the body kind of flush itself out, which again makes the students more alive, more alert, and just feel better. Because if you don't have a bowel movement for 3 days, you just feel awful.
You mean they come back on a weekend and hadn't had a bowel movement all weekend?
Correct. Yeah, so their last bowel movement for some of them is on Friday, and so.
But they have a bowel movement each day?
As soon as each day after the Quadriciser, each and every student will have a bowel movement.
Wow, that's pretty awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.